Why be easy when you can just die? Woo! Well, I'm Chewy Mew, and welcome to my channel. But more specifically, welcome to another Chewy Mew video, where today we're going to be taking a look at another figure from a collection that I got several years ago, definitely over a decade ago, probably more than that. And that is the ToyBiz Marvel Legends Series, I think 2 or 3 or 4, I don't know, Wolverine. Pardon my voice crack there as I enter puberty again. So yeah, here we have Wolverine. This is the series, I think series 3 or 4, because series 1 is Captain America, Hulk, Iron Man, Toad. Series 2 is basically like the Fantastic Four. And then series 3 is, I think this guy's series 3 or series 4, I don't know. But this is the masked version. There's also an unmasked version. This is also the Wolverine design where he has the visible pupils. I prefer the one where you can't see his pupils and where you don't see paint on the blue paint on the mask part. But I think it looks pretty cool. So let's take a look at the face here, which we kind of already were. Turn on the flash. You can see the face looks pretty cool. It looks ugly like Wolverine should. The mask here is painted this color, and I think it's all mold or black. This color, that's the proper term. The head is molded in yellow. Come on, the head is molded in yellow, so that means the black part is painted. All the face details are painted as well, and you can see some of the black bleeding through. I don't know why ToyBiz, when they made faces, I don't know why they didn't make the plastic mold like the skin color. Like, this is molded in this flesh color plastic. I don't know why they didn't do the same with the face and then just paint everything else. Paint everything, the other colors. I don't know, it just makes it look, some of the faces, it makes them look kind of weird, like when the paint chips and it looks weird. But it's painted pretty cleanly. You can see he's got wrinkles there in the mask, the outline here, which is a little bit messy there. The nostrils are painted, and I don't know if it's on purpose, though, but it looks like you can see his nostrils through the bottom of the mask. That always made me wonder, does Batman's mask, and like Wolverine, people that have masks like this, Captain America as well, does the mask cover like their whole nose? Like, is their whole nose in the mask, or is like it only cover the top part, and like they have the breathing holes for the nose? Or does it, how does that work? I don't know how that works. Then in the movie, we never saw it because Wolverine never had a mask in any of the movies. That's unfortunate. And one thing you could do is you could pop the head off of this guy. And if you were able to buy the other version of Wolverine, the same figure that has the unmasked head, you could swap the two of them on here. And this guy, if you pop the head on here, you could do that, like, so you can have the two head swaps, or if you just buy the whole other figure, you could do that. But if you were able to buy just the head for a cheap price of the unmasked, you could swap the heads here and then have, like, boom, masked Wolverine and then unmasked Wolverine. Another thing you can see here is he has like a blackish wash. Like, you can kind of see it there on the chest. If you turn the flash off, you can kind of see his like blackness here, like on the muscles and stuff, to give it some sort of wash. And here on these black parts, also this obviously the tiger stripes Wolverine, as he's called. You can see it has like the little sculpted sections to it. You can see there's like the sculpting of like where the rivets of the costume connect. ToyBiz, whenever they made figures, they made the costumes look realistic. Like, the costumes look like how the costume would look in real life. Like, it would have these divots, and like where it's like pretty much these black parts are stitched onto the suit. It's not just like it's a yellow suit where they added these black paint decals, or like basically like fabric decals. You know how like kind of like a graphic tee is how I would imagine it kind of to be. But in real life, it looks like these are actually black parts stitched onto the yellow of his suit. Kind of like how with the way they do the boot here, it doesn't just look like this part is all one piece. It looks like this is actually, the blue part is actually a separate piece from the yellow parts. Kind of like he puts on the yellow pants and then he puts these blue like briefs on top of it. Kind of like the Beast and the Thing, how they have like blue pants that they pull over top of their body. Beast pants aren't blue, are they? I think they are. Are they, or are they? I don't know. But you know, like the Thing from the Fantastic Four, he has like blue shorts put on. That's kind of Wolverine looks like. He put on these blue shorts on top of these pants. There's a little bit of paint messed up right there, so it makes it look like the pants are ripped. But no, that's how it's supposed to be. There's some black wash there right on the butt crack, here on the back as well. Mine looks kind of dirty. It's kind of speckled. I tried wiping it and stuff, but I don't know. I didn't want to risk like messing it up or anything, because it was played with a bit by me. His legs are, I actually had to tighten these legs with glue dots, and they hold the pose pretty good, surprisingly. A lot of figures, when you put glue dots, they slowly like kind of drift down if they're super loose. The boots here, this boot part is actually sculpted on, so you can actually see the gap in it. And then the bottom part of the shoe is also sculpted. He has a very slight heel on the back, so when he's standing flat on the ground, his like foot is level. That's pretty cool. That's really nice touch that they did that. And this doesn't have like the same rivets as it does like on the chest part, but that's fine. The belt here has wrinkles there as well. The X logo on the belt is painted really cleanly. The one thing with his body is because his body is at this angle, he's not standing completely straight. If they would have given him like a diaphragm joint, that wouldn't be an issue here, but they didn't, and that's kind of fine, I guess. But because his body's like kind of like shifted at a weird angle. Like his body is kind of like this. This guy doesn't really have the range, but he's kind of like, his body's like that. He's not straight like this. He's moving his diaphragm, but the figure itself doesn't have a diaphragm. He's like a pre-posed chest, which I think it's fine. It works, and he has like all these like divots and wrinkles here in the suit for like the costume. Not like wrinkles, but more like a texture pattern. Like the pattern has like a texture to it. Then you see like he's got like his veins popping out here along with on the arms. Speaking of the arms, he's got very hairy arms here, as Wolverine should. Like Wolverine's a pretty hairy dude. I'm surprised in the comic books and stuff he doesn't have like a full-grown beard, because he doesn't look like the kind of guy that would like trim his facial hair. Like he looks like he would have like a long beard. But no, he's got like some 5 o'clock shadow. This figure doesn't quite have it. Just because, I don't know, just because that's how it works. He's got like veins sticking out here, and he's got very hairy arms, just like the Sinister Six box set Kraven the Hunter, who has very hairy arms as well. Wolverines are even hairier, and they look pretty cool. That looks really cool with the crazy hairy arms there. Like that's how Wolverine should look. Hasbro figures do have the hair, but I don't know. It looks good like this. The claws are definitely the weakest part of this figure. These ones also, like I said, I didn't say in this video, but I found Iron Man, Hulk, and this guy in a box in my attic, which I knew I had them. I guess when we moved here, I threw them in that attic and I forgot about them or something. And so the claws are warped, and I didn't bother heating them up to fix them. I don't know, it just didn't. Then they sculpted these knuckle parts here. So like Hasbro, because they make it's a solid fist, and the knuckles, they have like the things right here on the edge of the knuckle. But because ToyBiz has the hand articulation, they put them right before the knuckles. So, you know, that's cool the way that works. So you have finger joints, like the 4 fingers move together. And then if you line this up right here, you can see like the seam for the costume lines up there with the wrist joints. That's pretty cool. And then this cuff part, this black part, is actually sculpted on as well. You can see more muscles here on his wrists. Wolverine is an incredibly muscular dude, but he's also, like people say he's short. He's not short. He's 5'3". I mean, that's kind of short for like a guy, but for a superhero, that is short. Compared to Sinister Six Spider-Man, Wolverine is way too tall. Because Spider-Man is like 5'10", so Wolverine, if we were to bend the joints here, Wolverine should be probably about like about maybe that tall compared to Spider-Man. Like about that. Like about right there. That's about how tall he should be. Because Spider-Man's supposed to be 5'10", so Spider-Man figure should be like, what is that, like is it just 5.1 inches tall? That's how tall he should be, I think. Or no, I don't know how to do math. I don't know. But Wolverine should be a bit shorter than Spider-Man by like a couple of millimeters, maybe like a centimeter. But either way, yeah, not a millimeter. Like, yeah, but like maybe a centimeter, 1.5 centimeters, how short Wolverine should be compared to Spider-Man. But either way, the figure looks great. Let's go over the articulation here. Move the arms up out of the way. Also, he has like these shoulder pads that are sculpted onto the body. So that's a thing as well. He can look up pretty much all the way. He can look down all the way. He just pivots side to side, and he does like a pretty good ball joint, so you have a lot of movement here. I don't know why ToyBiz stopped using this ball joint when it works. It works great. Like this like import level kind of ball joint head, because you have a ball joint in the neck and a ball joint in the head. If we take this off, like you can see he's got the ball joint in his head, like one going into his skull, and then he has one going into his neck. So you have like the double ball peg, which is what import figures do. Hasbro does it, and they fail because you don't get as much movement of this as this. The arms rotate, they go up about 90 degrees, the shoulder pads block them, and the way they sculpted the joint goes all the way down here, so they would go all the way up. They'd probably go up about this high if it weren't for the shoulder pads. The shoulder pads do block it. You can move the arm up pretty much all the way straight with the shoulder joints blocking. He can go all the way back. You do have like pretty much good movement with it. The shoulder pads do block it from everything going up completely straight, but you do get pretty much all the good movement you'd want. Biceps over here, you get a double bend in the elbow, that if you bend the joints like this, you get that much movement, but if you bend them like that, you get a little bit more movement. His elbow looks kind of janky when you do it, though. It's not a big deal for me. You get a rotation here, halfway down his forearm. You get a hinge in the wrist that goes that far back, that far in, or like in that kind of movement. Then you get a fist hand, which basically works as like an open palm and then a fist hand. You can't splay the fingers out because you'll bend the claws, but that's pretty cool. The torso, like I said, unfortunately doesn't have any sort of ball joint or ab crunch or anything. But then you do get a waist swivel, which is pretty good waist swivel. That gives you pretty much all your torso movement. That's the only torso movement. The legs kick up all the way. You can do the full splits, slightly past the splits. You get a bicep swivel, like halfway, or like a thigh swivel. That's not a bicep swivel. You get a perfect double bend in the elbow. That's pretty good. And then you get an ankle kind of, like an ankle swivel. It's not really a boot swivel because it's not up here. It's like an ankle swivel. The foot goes that far forward, goes pretty much all the way back, and you have a toe joint. You don't have ankle pivot, unfortunately, but you know, I think it's kind of fine because you can rotate the ankle like that, and then you pretty much get a if we can get him standing here on his toes, you can pretty much get like an ankle pivot with like a toe like kind of balanced like this, something like I do with like a Spider-Man pose. Boom, there you go. So you can get Wolverine doing that. He does fall over, but if you put like this one foot on a display stand, you get him to hold up that pose like standing on his toes. But yeah, that's pretty cool. I really like this figure. I don't collect X-Men, and if I were to start collecting X-Men, and if I did want another Wolverine, I'd probably get I think it's the Apocalypse Build-A-Figure Wave Wolverine, because that is like, you know, more articulation stuff, and it looks super good, super phenomenal, detailed throughout. So if I were to get another Wolverine, I'd probably want to get that one. The brown costume doesn't have like any detail on it, so I probably wouldn't get that one. But either way, that's all for this video. Let me think about this figure, and I'll see you guys in the next review. Wow.